welcome to the Wine Corner. I'm your host, Kelly McKinney, and tonight we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Tyler Rose.
And me and Tyler met through the Fourth Wall Players, which is an acting troupe out of Indianapolis, and just recently we did Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
There you go.
Got it right that time. Okay. And tonight's bottle is a Fetzer Gavurtz, and it's a 2011 bottle, Shady Loam. And this got very good reviews. All of the raving reviews that I've seen about the Fetzer Gavurtz have been about the 2011 bottle. So I got this for the outstanding price of only $7.99. So this is a really good rye, and in a minute we're going to open it up for you. Tonight's music was Renato Tibaldi's O Mio Babino Caro. Right? Yes. Okay.
Relatively.
Something close to that. Okay, but it was Renato Tibaldi. And tonight's chess setup was the Lolly Attack. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into this bottle. My wife had first privilege since she was going to bed before I started filming.
And I'm jealous.
Yeah. So it's already been opened, but we're going to go ahead and have a little taste here. Yeah.
Try not to spill it. That's a party foul.
Exactly. That's why I got the drip that was going down the side there expertly, like I expected it.
Like you expected it?
Uh-huh.
And sort of like that. Okay.
All right. And as always, the way I like to start is I hold it up to the light.
Ooh.
And I look for the color, and it's got that familiar white wine gold tint. Okay. And the clarity, we can see the bubbles from some slight, not carbonations really, but
slight aeration of
yeah, definitely.
the liquid.
And as far as viscosity, it's got that the viscosity that I expect from a quality wine. Okay, it's $7.99. I mean, you go $7.99 and you think, wow, that's kind of cheap for a wine. Well, take a look at the reviews and buy it and taste it yourself. It's amazing. All right, and then when I look for, I tip the glass, looking for color density, and this will give you an idea of the age of the wine. Okay, when you're looking towards the edge here, and also it'll tell you if it's really watery, which will when you get a really bad wine, an insipid wine, you'll get a lot of watery towards the edge, and this basically doesn't look watery at all.
Nice crisp edge.
Right, and what I'm looking for is that tawny or brown color around the outside on a white wine when you're looking for age. It doesn't look like it was aged very long, unless someone can see something I don't.
No,
but there's no tawny or brown color, so it's not aged, but it's not watery, so it's not insipid. I really like that word, insipid.
Insipid, yeah.
All right, we do the swirl, right? A little swirl. And smell.
I'm getting floral hints. It smells really, really nice.
Which is interesting. When I first pulled off this earlier, I got a really dry smell, like I was going to be tasting a dry wine, which I knew better. I'd done a little bit of research on a Gewürztraminer, and this is my first one. I'm trying to decide if I think it's apricots I'm smelling. That's where you get that floral scent from, I think.
Yeah, apricots. A little bit of.
Oh, but no, I get that floral.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a peach scent to it as well. Like not overbearing or anything.
Right. The first thing I get is it's like a perfect blend of the apricots and some floral smell. I definitely get that floral.
The floral.
Yeah. And the way I describe the differentiating between the apricot smell and the floral smell is the floral smell is sort of has this, when you breathe it in, it has the same sort of feel as well as like a mint would.
a lot more
that cool
there, whereas the apricot scent is subtle.
fruity. Yeah, and
it's subtle.
Yeah, right. And it's fruity as opposed to floral. You know, two very different scents. And they work so well together. All right, and we're ready to taste. You got that apricot.
And the fresh grape that just hits the back of your tongue.
Right. That fresh, yeah, exactly. Fresh grape, and it finishes smooth too. I'm not getting a real burn.
No burn, no real aftertaste. It's just kind of there.
See, I'm getting the peach aftertaste.
Well, when I say aftertaste, I mean like the lingering, the alcohol taste.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like for a dry wine, this is actually quite sweet.
Oh, it's a sweet wine.
It's a sweet wine?
Gewürztraminers are sweet.
Oh.
Very much.
I don't know why I thought it was a dry wine. Oh well.
Well, and it's probably because when I opened it earlier, I said it smelled really dry.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm wondering if it doesn't even say on the front or on the back that it is a sweet wine. But I mean, just taste it. It reminds me of very much so of the 2011 bottle of Flora di Moscato, which is the salt of the earth. That was really good. It has that same apricot-y peach aftertaste as well. Same sweet. Well, this isn't quite as sweet as the Flora di Moscato, which is, I expected differently from a Gewürztraminer. I don't know, I think it's because of the intimidating word, Gavurtz, where people naturally assume that it might be dry, or they stray away from them.
Because the word is scary.
Right.
It's German.
Yeah, it's often called just Gavurtz for short. Just Gavurtz. It's basically the English shortening of the word. It's how we've gotten lazy on it.
Because, America.
Right, yeah, because America and all that. USA, we're like that.
Funny thing,
we've shortened wine now to ein.
Ein.
Yeah, we just call it ein.
Well, funny thing, it actually reminds me a lot of the Cotti blend that we sell at Starbucks, which is weird, because aside from like the McClure's coffee, the coffee wine we were talking about earlier, no wine has ever done that, and I find that really, really strange.
Yeah, could be that you just have coffee run out of your
pores. Well, yeah, considering I taste it every friggin' day.
Yeah.
That is yummy.
Yeah, and it's right off the bat. I get the apricot and that fresh grape, and then it finishes with the still more fresh grapes and a little bit of a peach taste. But I'm not, and it could just be my palate. I'm not tasting the florals. I'm just smelling them.
I'm tasting the florals, but there's another flavor there that I can't quite place. It's not. Like, I can taste the apricots, I get the hint of peach and the grapes, and then, like I said, the florals, but it's kind of like more of a sweet flavor, but not like you would normally get in a wine.
I wonder if that's just added sugar.
It could be.
So, as you guys know, usually we follow up our tasting on the Wine Corner with a segment that I call Coffee Talk. And this week, since I have a guest, we're going to talk about something that I call the Nicolas Cage paradigm.
Nicolas Day paradigm.
The Nicolas Cage paradigm. And basically, I found that most people either love or hate Nicolas Cage. Okay, and when you ask them why, they have a lot of reasons, okay? But some of those are specific movies, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of his top films starting in the mid to late 90s, up to today, and talk about whether they're in the good or the bad category in the Nicolas Cage paradigm.
And I would just like to preference this with, I hate him because I think he's an arrogant prick. So, am I allowed to say prick on YouTube?
Yeah, it's YouTube.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Definitely say prick on YouTube. Prick, 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 prick. All right.
But yeah, so that's why I hate him. I think he's arrogant and just kind of like the thing with Kevin Spacey. I always want to punch him in the face whenever I see him. So.
And see, I understand that, I do, but I love Nicolas Cage. But I'm not so much of a fan that I can't see when he puts out really bad movies.
Right.
You know, or just picks really
like some of those people who are like, oh, I'm gonna see it just because he's in it.
Right, exactly.
And then, even if it's bad, I'm going to say, oh, it's amazing.
I loved it. Right.
No.
What they mean is they love the special effects.
Yeah, the special effects, the CGI, and all that crap.
But most of the time they don't have plot lines nowadays. But all right, but starting way back, like with The Rock, all right, in 1996, for instance. Okay, The Rock, you know, really good action movie when it first came out. But nowadays when I watch it, there's just something comical about Sean Connery. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when I was a kid, I could take
Sean Connery.
When I was a kid, I could take his role seriously, but when it came to The Rock, it was just, you know.
The seriousness went out the window because I think it was around that time that the whole I'm Sean Connery and I'm all important.
Yeah, I think
so
it was like right
you're gonna wipe
that.
my ass for me thing came along.
When he lost his James Bond respect.
Yeah, when he lost the respect of the James Bond community, he just kind of
Right. Or it's more like when they forgot about him.
Yeah, true.
James Bond fans still love Sean Connery.
Yeah, no, Sean Connery, best Bond ever.
Yeah.
Hands down. I am liking Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
But Sean Connery wins.
And this is the thing with Daniel Craig in the first one, okay, and we're digressing for just a moment.
Very much so.
just to cover Daniel Craig real quick. Okay?
Because of James Bond.
Right.
That's the only reason.
You know, he said his favorite Bond, I just gotta say my favorite is Daniel Craig. And there's a reason for that. It's because I never liked Bond in the first place because it was always the fancy gadgets. It was like, oh, here's a pen that turns into a boat, and he just happens to be in a water prison or something, and the gun that is also a laser that you can
sin
shoot.
of convenience.
Right. It's right, exactly. It's the convenience of it. Whereas with Daniel Craig in the first one, in Casino Royale, it was all about the man. Okay, you know, the genius and simplicity of calling the last person he just called on a cell phone to see who picks up their cell phone and says hello as they're walking out when he first spots the guy, you know. That, you know, just that little simple part right there was brilliant. Or the chase scene at the very beginning of Casino Royale. Awesome. You know, it was just pure physical skill that caught the bad guy there for him at the end. So, you know, that part was really awesome. It was all about the man.
Yeah.
But we were saying...
Anyways, yeah, no, I would list The Rock as one of Nicolas Cage's better movies. Simply because it is one of the first movies I ever saw him in, and I wasn't a big fan of his acting in the movie. I really wasn't. But
it's a good movie.
It's a good movie overall because the concept and the plot line was good.
Even the dialogue, because the fact that, you know, you can't, if you don't like Nicolas Cage, you can't say it's a horrible movie just because he's in it, because it's a fantastic movie. If you dislike Nicolas Cage, that just happens to be the bad aftertaste. You know, it was like a plate full of shrimp, and then you realize they all have mud lines in them. You know, that's Nicolas Cage in The Rock.
That's when you run to the bathroom and pray to God you don't get food poisoning.
Right. All right, next would be Con Air. Now,
Con Air was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love Con Air. And the thing is I've heard so many people talk bad about his southern accent.
Oh,
when
God,
you live in Indiana, there's no bad southern accent.
There's not. There really isn't.
Because there's so many mockeries here that start as something they pick up because they listen to too much country music that turns into something that
some southern twang that turns into
something that's bred into their family, into their
some high class southern belle type shit.
For Hoosiers, there's no bad southern accent.
There's
not, because
not.
we've heard them all. So Con Air, hands down,
it is one of his best
top movies, right?
And for me, it's really has nothing to do with Nicolas Cage at all. His acting was good. His acting was phenomenal, actually. My favorite part is John Malkovich as a friggin' villain going up against Nicolas Cage.
Right. You know, John Malkovich.
Best face-off I've ever seen.
Right. John Malkovich, no doubt, in every role that he plays where he's supposed to be sinister, he's got sinister down pat. But in this one, there was the unique mix of sinister and powerful
and crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
sinister, powerful.
Goes in
hand
in hand with
crazy.
Crazy is a synonym, I think.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, we're gonna say it is. Just creative license.
Crazy, right? Yeah. But it's like the power that he had as the psychopath, because I don't know. That makes sense.
Just because he could do it, he did it.
Yeah. Con Air, obviously awesome. Face Off. I really enjoyed Face Off, but I'm a huge John Travolta fan too. So the combination of the two is what won me on that.
Well, see.
But Face Off, what I say is as good a movie as Con Air? No.
See, with me, I never really got into Face Off. Like, I watched it maybe once or twice, and for me, it just wasn't one of those movies that were really memorable enough for me to really, now, like 10 years later,
want to watch it again.
Or even remember the basic plot line of it. I mean, I know it stars Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, but that's about as far as I can go.
I think it was
aside from them switching faces.
Right,
the surgical switching of their faces and identities and all that crap.
And instead of making it a cheesy sci-fi flick, they made it a really good suspense thriller. Yeah, that's basically what I remember from the movie too. Good movie, but all in all,
not memorable.
Okay, City of Angels. All right, you either hate it or you love it, and I hate it and love it. Okay, because I'm a big sap when it comes to sappy movies.
Right.
So naturally I cried, but I can't stand the girl. What's the girl's actor? I keep wanting to say Meg Ryan. Was it Meg Ryan?
It might have. It was Meg Ryan.
If it was Meg Ryan, I can't stand Meg Ryan. Not in 90s movies. It was like, if you wanted to choose, it was
and
she was typecast.
And Meg Ryan, if you somehow end up seeing this and it wasn't you, we apologize.
Right
now.
Meg Ryan, if you weren't in the City of Angels, I apologize. Okay, but but the female role in City of Angels,
horrible.
Could have done without it.
No.
Kate Winslet would have done a better job, but she wasn't old enough to pull off the role.
Well, Kate Winslet, in my opinion, can't really pull off any role.
Oh, see, that's where we would disagree. I love Kate Winslet in certain movies.
Okay, so Kate Winslet pre-95 or Kate Winslet post-95?
Oh, man, that's...
Because 95 was the year she got good.
Are we talking about in Titanic?
No, not Titanic. I hated her in... that was 95, but I hated her in frickin' Titanic. That movie is a mockery and deserves to be burned.
I'm most
sorry,
familiar.
James Cameron. That movie sucked.
I'm most familiar with her movies today, so I mean, I guess I have to say today.
So post-95. Okay, so yeah. See, I like her post-95. Pre-95, not so much. Like Titanic back.
Yeah. All right. So
anyways,
we dislike City of Angels. Let's go on. So that's in the bad paradigm. So we've got a couple that are like still on the fence because I said they were good. He said they were bad. Kind of, right?
Yeah.
All right. Snake Eyes. That's one that's just not memorable. It was just like a typical action movie to me.
But I'm not entirely certain.
Same thing with 8mm. Same thing.
I didn't even know he was in that movie.
He was the main role.
See? There you go.
Okay, Gone in 60 Seconds. That
one was pretty good. Mainly because I have a thing for cars.
Okay.
And
see, I don't.
Eleanor was gorgeous.
I do not have a thing for cars, and I can't stand Angelina Jolie in that role. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought she was horrible.
And her hair was just disgusting.
Right,
oh my God, it was like this bleach blonde dreadlock shit.
Just weren't very believable.
No, they weren't.
So.
I will say Eleanor, beautiful car.
All right, we're coming up on my. I think we're going to go through the list here, but what I think is my absolute favorite Nicolas Cage movie of all time, and it's like up close to my favorite movies of all time, The Family Man. I can watch it over and over and over again.
Family Man was
what
pretty
a great
good.
one. Tia Leone and Nicolas Cage had amazing chemistry. They did the casting perfect for all of them. And I love Don Cheadle too. He's freaking awesome.
Don Cheadle's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, see, one of his movies that I really liked was Lord of War.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's coming up too.
Oh, yeah, see.
But let's see.
No, and like my favorite reaction he had in that movie was when his brother dies and like gets shot, and he just freaks out, and I'm like, yep, that's awesome. Anyways, you were gonna say?
I was just gonna go to the next one. Wind Talkers. Have you seen Wind Talkers?
I don't think I have.
That's a really amazing war movie because it's like Nicolas Cage, of course, is so recognizable. He can't not be Nicolas Cage.
Right.
But he does take on he plays the role really well, and I just like the general history of the movie myself. So I like Wind Talkers, but I could see a lot of people that would hate that. Oh man. Okay. Very close to my favorite as well is Adaptation, okay, by Charlie Kaufman, which was written by Charlie Kaufman. I think it was directed by Charlie Kaufman, too, it might have been. Charlie Kaufman is the guy who wrote Being John Malkovich. That was his first huge hit.
I heard Charlie Kaufman.
He wrote Adaptation about himself, okay, and Adaptation is about a screenwriter who's trying to write a book about flowers into a movie. And he has such a bad case of writer's block that he ends up writing himself into the script, okay? And as the movie unfolds, you're seeing the actual script that he's writing. And Nicolas Cage plays Charlie Kaufman, and Charlie Kaufman, the real-life Charlie Kaufman's fictional twin brother, Donald Kaufman. Nicolas Cage plays both of these characters exceptionally well. I would have never pegged Nicolas Cage to be able to play such a nervous, antisocial character, but he nailed it. He nailed it in Adaptation.
Does that mean, or does that say he's in Ghostbusters? No,
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider sucked, by the way.
And then up above it is Grindhouse.
That's what I was looking at. But Ghost Rider, oh my god, made me want to slit someone's throat.
I don't want to skip this. Matchstick Men.
That one was good. I loved Matchstick Men.
I'm trying to think of the other lead in Matchstick Men. The guy, I keep wanting to say, I want to say his name was Roy Campbell, but that's not it. I want to say it's Roy something. But actually, I think maybe he played a character named Roy in Clown House way back in the day. But I love that guy. He's one of my favorite actors, and he's always playing a side role. So he was in Iron Man 2. The guy from Matchstick Men.
He was in Iron Man 2. What did he play in Iron Man 2?
He was the bad guy.
The bad guy? Mickey Rourke?
No, not the Samoan bad guy.
The tall, skinny bad guy who was like rich and then ended up...
other weapons developer.
Oh God, yeah. What's his name? Either way,
you know who I'm talking about, right?
I know who you're talking about.
He always plays the same sort of role. I mean, I remember this.
Kind of like Donald Sutherland. He's always like in those roles.
He kind of is typecast, yeah. Well, it's just like, it's weird because it's like for being such amazing actors like Donald Sutherland, they never want to. It seems like they never want to be in the limelight, or they just never get picked for that role. And I want to know what is that Donald Sutherland. And same thing with the other guy from Clown House and Matchstick Men. What's up with that? You go on and you comment on this video. You tell us. All right. What's up with that, yo? Out of the 15 views, one of them will be Donald Sutherland.
If that is the case...
We are tagging you in this video.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Matchstick Men. All right. National Treasure.
I liked it, but it wasn't like one of my favorites.
Right, when it first came out, it was like, oh, what a brilliant movie.
Oh,
and then it's like after the second time you watch it, what you go is it's too
predictable.
Right, it's like, oh yeah, that's what the clue means. Of course, he figured it out.
Have you seen the YouTube channel CinemaSins?
Yes, of course.
They did
everything wrong with National Treasure. Yeah,
I've watched it. I was like. Yep. Okay. Yep. I watched all that. I'm like, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I watched the movie, and then I was just like, oh, that's what they meant. Right. Okay. Oh crap.
One of my favorite CinemaSins is the one where they did about everything wrong with Star Trek 2009.
Oh yeah.
That one was great. Okay, let's see. Lord of War, we already said. That one's a great one. The Weatherman, David Spritz. Man, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's been a while. I'd be hard-pressed to really tell you what it's about.
It's about a weatherman. It's about a weatherman and his family is falling apart. It's like a really weird comedy, artsy drama. It's got Michael Caine in it.
No.
Yeah, he plays Dave Spritz's father.
Now I was gonna say, does he play Alfred?
Nope. Okay, then we've got World Trade Center. I've seen it.
I've seen it, but it didn't really register on like or page. It was just kind of there.
It was like, I saw it. There we go. Right. The Wicker Man. You know,
that
some
movie
people really
was
like
weird.
it. Yeah, some people really like it. You know,
that movie was fucking weird.
it was an interesting movie to watch Nicolas Cage play a role in.
And then die.
Much like Knowing.
And then die.
Right, right.
Warning, spoiler alerts for any future stuff, because we've already kind of ruined that one.
Yeah, right. Spoiler alerts, right? Okay, and like another thing, The Wicker Man, it was like watching something from M. Night Shyamalan.
I think it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. And M. Night Shyamalan, sorry dude, you're not that good a director.
Ghost Rider. That was a failed attempt at doing
a comic book, and
really good
it made me want to shoot people.
Grindhouse, skip. That was like Quentin Tarantino's, you know.
That was Quentin Tarantino's foray into the Nicolas Cage area.
Right.
And he's like, I don't like Nicolas Cage. No, we're not doing that again.
Okay, Next. All right. Have you ever seen Next?
I have.
I really like that one.
It wasn't one of my favorites. It's just kind of like
it's not the casting, because the one thing that irritated me the most was the casting.
Makes sense.
It was the way they delivered the concept. Because I felt like, you know, for the most part, they stayed within that 2-minute range really well, except for the whole big thing of the movie. Right. So, you know, that one was really cool. We'll skip the next National Treasure because we know Suckwell's always. Well, I just said it, didn't I? Bangkok Dangerous. Oh, could he have done a crappier action movie?
Probably not.
Knowing, I watched it, and it really surprised me.
Knowing just kind of weirded me out.
I had really low expectations for the movie, and so it was really surprising.
I didn't have expectations for the movie. I figured it was gonna suck because.
Well, that's low expectations. That's right.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I thought it was gonna suck.
But no, and then it kind of surprised me a little bit because the ending I was expecting was not the one that happened.
Right.
I mean,
right, exactly.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the end of Knowing, I suggest just not watching it at all.
The end is really weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not familiar with those, and a lot of them were ones that I didn't see because I thought they were crappy, but okay, Kick-Ass.
That was an awesome movie, yeah.
Awesome movie. I mean, and like, okay, if you can make an action movie that makes me tear up, you're doing a great job, okay? A really great job.
Well, my thing with Kick-Ass is, if you've read the books, it stuck to a lot of the core material. I was just like, this is awesome. I love it.
I'm not even familiar with the books.
You should read them.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
I've got about 40 classics to get through, and then I will watch Kick-Ass.
Well, like I said, Kick-Ass, if you haven't seen it, definitely put it on your watch list, because it is an awesome movie. It was one of my favorites. I especially liked how he portrayed Big Daddy.
Well, and I mean, the whole
greatest performance I've ever seen of his.
It was, first of all, it was hilarious, and then for Big Daddy, I mean, I'm not gonna no spoilers. You've got to watch Kick-Ass. I mean, Nicolas Cage is spectacular in Kick-Ass, and he just plays a minor role.
Yeah.
Overall, in the whole Kick-Ass.
Overall, in the grand scheme of the movie, Big Daddy is a very minor role.
Right.
But they kind of beefed him up a little bit in the movie. And
which
so
was awesome,
if
really.
you haven't seen it, like we've said multiple times now, watch it.
Some of the best action I've seen in a long time. And I mean, hold on. I cried twice during this movie. Twice. But I'm a big sap though. But I cried twice during that movie. And it's an action movie. An action comedy.
I don't cry.
No,
ever.
I do. Alright. The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
No.
That
was Disney's failed. I liked Nicolas Cage in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Especially when Jay Baruchel says to Nick Cage, "Are you insane?" And Nicolas Cage holds up his hand and he's like, little bit. And they continue on with their day. But it was Disney's failed attempt at taking one of their classic, old-time, like, little snippets and making an actual movie out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Horribly failed attempt.
Mm-hmm.
The movie in and of itself was good. But when you actually go in and analyze it, nope.
See, this is the thing, is that Disney's attempt to take The Sorcerer's Apprentice and make it into an action movie, you know, was making it an action movie for kids. If they'd given it to a different director to make it dark, like the next movie we're going to talk about, Season of the Witch, it could have worked.
Yes.
Okay, it could have worked. Season of the Witch. I'm not a huge fan of it simply because it was like, oh, you know, here's an action movie. What I do, but I'm a huge fan of fantasy films. So, you know, for me, it struck a chord there. It was like everything except for, Ron Perlman and Nicolas Cage I liked about the film. I liked everything except for
I can agree with that.
Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman about the film. And that's where we're talking about the Nicolas Cage paradigm, where how you can love, you know, where I can love him and hate him. You know, I hate him for doing Sorcerer's Apprentice. Why? Because it was just a crap movie. You know, one of Disney's crap movies. You know, this is something that because of the way they had to do it, making it a kids movie, they should have just sent it over to Disney or original movies. They should have sent it over to those studios and let them do it, because making it as grand as they did, they wasted a lot of money.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, Season of the Witch. There we go. Like I said before, I really like it, but it's one of those ones where I could have done without Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman.
Which is weird, because I really like Ron Perlman.
I know, me too. That's what's weird.
One of my favorite actors.
And I think there might be a Ron Perlman paradigm too.
We could probably do that.
All right, let's see. I never saw Drive Angry, Seeking Justice, Trespass. I skipped the next Ghost Rider because
Wait, there were two Ghost Riders?
There were a couple. There was more than two.
I didn't know he was
Stolen. I skipped The Croods. I skipped The Frozen Ground. Joe, Rage, Outcast, Left Behind.
Oh God.
Dying of the Light. This is the problem. The problem in general is with Hollywood trying to make a Christian film. Hollywood is not Christian. So for them to try to make a Christian film, they're going to disappoint, one, a lot of Christians, two, a lot of non-Christians. Okay?
And three, they're just going to disappoint themselves when their pocketbooks go down the tube.
Especially by getting Nicolas Cage to play Rayford Steele. Anyone but Scott Bakula playing Rayford Steele does not make any sense to me in the Hollywood world.
Yeah, I can agree.
But that's because I read the books.
Yeah, there's that.
So, and I would still have casted either Kirk Cameron, even though he's a horrible actor, as Buck all over again, or I'd have picked Shia LaBeouf, made him clean up for the purposes of the movie.
Yeah.
I could see him doing Buck. And I say that because Shia LaBeouf just did a movie called The Company You Keep, and that was an excellent movie.
Really?
I loved it.
I haven't seen it.
Robert Redford and it was the cast was.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but then again, after the whole Transformers debacle, I
stopped watching Transformers after the first one.
I don't see Shia LaBeouf in anything.
I watched the first one
good.
And I said, "Oh, they're doing a second one. Well, I can skip that one." I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of robots blowing up shit.
Well, yeah. Well, it's a Michael Bay film. What do you expect?
Right, of course. Yeah.
Michael Bay. That's all he does is just blow shit up.
May as well put J.J. Abrams on it, right?
Exactly.
Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back next time with an amazing bottle from a local vineyard. That's McClure's Orchard and Winery. And we'll be tasting this year's Holiday Happiness.
Delicious.
Very good. And as always, this is Kelly McKinney.
I'm Tyler Rose.
Reminding you that a great wine is like a great woman.
Or a great man.
Always intoxicating, ever surprising, and only getting better with age. Thank you, and good night.